Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you live from Emirates Stadium, in fact. Just watching the Arsenal and Liverpool players warm up here at the Emirates. It's half an hour away from kick-off. By the time you're watching this video, the game would have happened, so you'll certainly know what the score was and how Arsenal done. The team news is quite interesting by Arsenal. Mikel Arteta certainly prioritising Saturday's FA Cup semi-final, Manchester City. A lot of players left out, including Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He's on the bench. Lacazette's the captain. I think he's right. I mean, whatever happens, like I said, by the time you're watching this video, you'll know what happens. So, even if Arsenal have been beaten 4-0 here by a full-strength Liverpool, I still think Arteta's right. Given what's happened, the defeat at Spurs, Arsenal's Europa League chances via the Premier League, I think, are gone. And if they're going to get in the Europa League and qualify for Europe, then they're going to have to win the FA Cup. And to do that, they're going to need all their best players in top form and peak fitness against a Manchester City side who usually steamroller Arsenal. So I can understand why Mikel Arteta has done it, and for me it's probably the right decision. Look, if it all goes wrong here tonight and Arsenal get a hammer in, which could happen against the best team in the country, best team in Europe at the moment, still European champions in fact, then hey, I'm sure Arteta's going to get panned and criticised, but I still think he's made the right decision, I have to say. So that's not why I'm joining you today. I just thought I'd pop on, just have a little bit of a chat about latest sort of transfer stories doing around. I haven't done one of these in a while. Little sort of transfer talk, going through some of the speculation, doing around, giving my take on what I've heard and what I think the situation is. So we'll go straight into it. I'll talk about the man who dominates all Arsenal transfers at the moment, Thomas Partey. I'm sure you've probably seen it by now. There's a couple of stories doing around, and one specific story doing around that's come out in Ghana about Thomas Partey. They've been told that he's about to sign a new contract with Atletico, snub a move to Arsenal and stay with Atletico. Interesting timing that this story's done around. Just after Arsenal basically looked like they've ruined their chance of European football, and this comes out. As far as I'm aware, I haven't heard anything to back that story up. I spoke to someone in Madrid who I know well, who is close to Madrid, close to Thomas Partey's representatives, and he hadn't been able to confirm it either. So I can't rubbish the story because it might well be true, and it's come out in Ghana obviously, and they'll have close contacts with Thomas Partey's father, I'm sure. They won't just be doing this story on a whim, but nothing I've heard yet suggests that it's definitely happening, that he's going to sign a new contract at Atletico and snub Arsenal. Now, the story that was published a couple of days ago, they said he was going to sign imminently. We obviously haven't seen that yet, so it's one to keep an eye on. But I just say, from my point of view and from people that I've spoken to who know the situation pretty well and are pretty tight with, they've got good contacts with Atletico Madrid and good contacts with Thomas Partey's representatives, they haven't been able to confirm the story that's come out in Ghana yet. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. But I know a lot of people are losing their mind over it, thinking Arsenal missed out on Partey, and we'll have to wait and see. I can't confirm it at the moment. But look, I don't think even if Thomas Partey doesn't sign for Arsenal, it's not the end of the world. Look, Arsenal want him, absolutely want him. Mikel Arteta wants him. Thomas Partey has been open to the move. Whether that has now changed because they've now got, it doesn't look like they're getting European football, remains to be seen. But we'll have to wait and see on it. Like I said, my understanding the situation is that I haven't been able to confirm that he's definitely going to sign this new contract at Atletico, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Maybe we'll know more in the next couple of days or so, and I'll keep you updated if I hear anything more on that. We'll go with who should we talk about now? Coutinho has been offered to Arsenal, but that might be a headline sounding thing, but it's really not. Coutinho's been offered to an awful lot of clubs across Europe at the moment. Barcelona are desperate to get him out. Preferably they want to sell him. That's not going to happen in terms of Arsenal. No way are Arsenal going to buy Coutinho. They haven't got the money to do that. And that's what Barcelona's preference is. They've offered around to lots of clubs. Arsenal, Newcastle as well, with their new owners, supposed new owners if it happens. Barcelona are desperately trying to get him out, and they've made it clear to an awful lot of clubs that if you're interested in Coutinho, let's try and do a deal. That's what they've said to Arsenal. Obviously, Coutinho's agent's Kia Drabchin, who works very, very closely with Arsenal, works very closely with Raul Sanllehi, the head of football, and Edu, the technical director. And so it's an easy link to make. And and so Barca would have offered him to Arsenal just because they know, it's an easy. They'll set Kia Drabchin knows full well that Barcelona want to get him out, and Kia's job now is to try and get Coutinho a deal. And Kia is often here in this very ground, sitting above me on a match day normally when the fans are allowed in the stadium, because he's that close with the hierarchy here at Arsenal. So that, it might sound like a headline-making thing, but I wouldn't get, if you really want Coutinho at Arsenal, I wouldn't get your hopes up to yet, because in terms of Barca desperately want to sell him, I just cannot see any way that's going to happen with Arsenal. They are open to a loan if they can't sell, similar to what they've had the agreement they have with Bayern Munich and Coutinho. But again, even the finances in that are massive. Coutinho's on about 250 grand a week. Arsenal are desperately trying to cut their wage bill at the moment. They're probably not going to have European football next season. To try and take on someone's wages like that is going to be a real difficult thing for Arsenal. Plus, they'll have to pay a significant loan fee to Barcelona as well. So even a loan would not be cheap. And I'd be surprised if he comes. I know it's a headline-making thing, or Coutinho's been offered to Arsenal, and he has, but I wouldn't get overly excited about that, meaning it's going to happen, because, like I said, he's been offered around to all clubs in Europe. Everyone is aware that Coutinho is available this summer if someone wants to do a deal. So I wouldn't get too excited about Coutinho. Malang Sarr's another one. Defender, was at Nice, free transfer this summer. Has been linked with a move for Arsenal. I've been speaking to a few people about this one, and from what I understand, Arsenal have held talks about a possible move for Malang Sarr, but they haven't made a table of contract offer for him yet. Torino are one club who very much want Malang Sarr, according to information that I have, and are really pushing hard to get him. Sarr has Italian agent, recently signed to an Italian agent, and Torino are really pushing to try and get a deal done for Malang Sarr. Miles further ahead than Arsenal are in that. Like I said, Arsenal, I think, from what I've been told, have had discussions about the possibility of getting him. He's a free transfer, young centre-back, only about 22. A decent reputation already in France, so it would make sense, especially as Arsenal, like I said, money's tight, and they're looking at centre-backs as well. He could come in, be a potential partner for William Sieber, obviously fellow countryman. Both speak French, and so it kind of makes sense. But as far as I'm aware on the Malang Sarr thing, like I said, there's been talks, but no contract offer has been made by Arsenal to Sarr. And so far, from what I hear, Torino are the club that are pushing the hardest, but there's several clubs interested for him. Mavropanos, in terms of possible player exits, Mavropanos is one who is getting very close to leaving Arsenal again. Looks like it's going to be another loan back to Germany for Mavropanos. Stuttgart have been heavily linked. Obviously, Stuttgart's director of football is Sven Mislintat, who was head of recruitment here at Arsenal and was the man who signed Mavropanos from Greece. They've been heavily linked with it, but as far as I'm aware, it might not be Stuttgart. It's looking, Werder Bremen are very interested in Mavropanos as well. They've saved themselves from relegation from the Bundesliga right on the final day of the season, and I've been watching Mavropanos very closely. He obviously spent the second half of the season on loan with Nuremberg, did very well in the Bundesliga too, and they are and Werder Bremen are interested in getting him and talking about a potential loan for Mavropanos. Socrates is another player who's been linked with a possible exit from Arsenal recently. As far as I'm aware, Socrates had no intentions on leaving. Whether that changes in the summer and Arsenal basically tell him to leave, if an offer comes in for him, then maybe they will. But as far as I'm aware, Socrates has no intention of leaving Arsenal at the moment, and no one has told him at Arsenal that he will be leaving the club this summer. So Socrates stays, as far as I'm aware, for now. Whether that changes, like I said, when the transfer window's open and any real firm interest comes in for him, we'll have to wait and see. But that's pretty much the roundup from me now today here at the Emirates. So just quickly run over those headlines again. Coutinho, wouldn't get too excited. Offer to Arsenal, yes. Will they do the deal? Will they be able to do a deal, either loan or permanent? Unlikely. Thomas Partey, I haven't had it confirmed that he is close to signing a new contract for Atletico Madrid, so we'll have to wait and see how that develops over the next couple of days. Malang Sarr, I understand Arsenal have held talks over a move, but they haven't offered a contract to him. He's available on a free transfer this summer. And in terms of the player exits, Mavropanos, from what I've heard, is getting close to Werder Bremen. Lots of German clubs in for him though. And Socrates who has been linked with move away. As far as I'm aware, it looks like he is staying put unless anything significantly changes once the transfer window opens. So that's it from me here at the Emirates. Like I said, by the time you watch this video, the game would have happened. Hopefully Arsenal would have won, but judging by the team news that we've just seen and looking at the players warming out there in the starting 11, Mikel Arteta very much prioritising Saturday's FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you as usual for all the support on the videos and new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching this for the first time, please do hit down that subscribe button. And I'll try and keep you as much updated as I can with all things Arsenal. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe.